And we're live. So welcome everybody. Another meeting on Zoom, August, but good to see everybody. And eventually, hopefully, maybe we'll get to do this in person. But I think at least we'll still do trips in person for now. But we got Mike Robertson here we'll be talking about off-camera flash. Michael Gagne is here. He's a member. He's got a little presentation that he's going to do at the beginning. I don't know that he knew he was going to do the presentation, but but he hasn't even seen the slide yet. But he'll know what to tell us. I'm going to keep you all in suspense because it's actually something good that I think a lot of people are going to like. And so let's get started. Let me start the slideshow. All right, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So no technical difficulties yet, but the meeting's not over. It just started. So welcome, everybody. So pretty much our usual thing. We'll do business. We're going to talk about events. Mike Robertson will do his presentation on off-camera flash. And then we'll have our photo challenge. And our theme this month was the sound of music. So of course I got to do the advertising for paid membership. If we have anybody on here tonight who's not a paid member, you may want to consider becoming a paid member. Get a lot of extra benefits. You can go online at northgeorgiaphotographyclub.com and see those extra benefits. But one of the best is the workshops. So you can take a look there. And here we go with Michael Gagne's part. We are going to be offering some North Georgia Photography Club t-shirts, hoping to have them ready in September. They'll be in men, women, and youth sizes. The price, I believe, was going to be under $20. It'll be purchased through Amazon, and we'll have several color options. This is some of them. These may not all be all the colors. I just posted the ones I liked from the mock-up that Michael did. But if you want to tell us a little bit more about these and what the shirts are made of and that kind of thing.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, you can see in the top left there's offered in men, women, and youth sizes. They're what's called a premium version of their print-on-demand service they have called Merch by Amazon that I'm affiliated with, and 100% cotton. They run pretty true to size. I've ordered many in testing and actually tried different vendors, and through getting them printed online, these were the highest quality I could find. I was really happy to come across them. So I was thinking of a way. I approached Mike and he agreed, and the board, that the group might find this worthwhile. It's a fairly good price, under $20. I guess they'll determine, a final price, and just basically putting the logo on the front of the shirt. Eventually, we'll finalize with 10 colors that can be available with the design. So let's see. I don't know if there's any other questions you have, Mike, related to, or some information to talk about, but it could be ready to go very, very soon.
Yeah, so hoping to have it ready, I guess, mid-September. We just got to get the details worked out. Michael will provide the link, and once it's ready, we'll put it on both Facebook pages. I'll shoot an email out to everybody, and we'll advertise it every once in a while. But I think it's gonna be nice to have. Be good, when we have a club trip, if a lot of members are wearing that, and when we have the for those who participate in the North Georgia Camera Council shootout, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Be great if we showed up all in t-shirts. Won't be required. You don't have to buy a t-shirt to participate, but it'd be nice to kind of have our presence shown. So it's something definitely looking forward to. So I appreciate that, Mike. To us.
A couple of the quick benefits going with Amazon is so many people use it to buy what they need. If you're a Prime member, you get free shipping on your order. Returns are hassle free. You just send it back and get exchanged or your money back, no problems. Very, very easy and straightforward.
So just watch for that, and like I said, we'll make sure that the links are visible if you'd like to purchase one, or two, or three. All right, so we'll talk about trips by mentioning our original September trip, the Dragon Con Parade, ain't happening. The Dragon Parade itself actually is going on, but it's been closed to the public, and pretty much actually everything with Dragon Con is closed to the public unless you have a badge, and that's just for safety reasons with COVID. So unless you have a badge, we'll be waiting till next year for the Dragon Con Parade. Dick, are you on? I didn't see you before. Sounds like he's not here, so I'll talk a little bit about upcoming events. We're trying to work out the dates for the trip to the North Georgia Observatory in Dahlonega. I know there were several posts about that on Facebook. I spoke to Dick at the beginning of the week. He's looking at dates the last week of September. So once we get that set up, we'll go ahead and post that. That'll be open to all members, paid or unpaid. The EarthQuest Birds of Prey, we pretty much have have that set up. We did that back in the spring. It's going to be on October 23rd at a site in Houston. I think Lori Krismer, I don't know if she's on tonight or not. I think she was the one who provided the property we're going to do. There will be a fee for that. I don't remember how much that is. And the fee is actually charged by EarthQuest. It's not a North Georgia Photography Club fee. I think we have to limit it to 20 members, because more than that, and it spooks the birds. Plus, then we're also all on top of each other. We have a waiting list of people who weren't able to go in March. They're going to get first dibs at this once we make the link available, and then after that it'll be first come first serve. So we'll put out a payment link sometime after Labor Day, and I probably won't put the link on the Facebook page. I'll probably just shoot an email out to the paid members. That way everybody will still get it. The only thing that'll be different than last time is that last time I wasn't working. So when we sold out in the middle of a weekday, I was able to cut off sales. I'm working now. So if we put it out and we sell out at 10 o'clock in the morning, a few people may end up paying and being, and I won't be able to refund the money until I get home. So we'll just have to watch that. So just bear with me with that. And then the last thing I had about events is the North Georgia Camera Club Council Shootout. It's going to be October 30th at Chattahoochee Tech North Metro Campus in Ackworth. For those who are not familiar with it, it's a competition between several North Georgia camera clubs. That morning they will announce 5 topics, basically themes. You'll get to go out, shoot, edit your photos, turn them in, I think by 2 p.m. They have judges who will judge them, and you compete for prizes. There's individual prizes, and then there's team prizes. We participated for the first time in 2019. We only had 5 or 6 people on our team. I think we had the smallest team. We still finished in 6th place out of 12 teams. So I think that was pretty good. So I'm hoping we can get a bigger turnout this year. They do charge a fee to enter, but the club will pay the $20 entry fee for paid members. And so that's another thing. We'll do a sign up after Labor Day. But this week, there's also a $50 membership fee that each club has to pay the North Georgia Council. I paid that this week, so we're in there. So I hope we can get a good turnout for that event. Those who were there 2 years ago know how fun it is. People like Rick has participated in previous years, and Hylos, I saw he was on here tonight. And Hylos is also the vice president of the Cobb, what is it, the Cobb Photographic Society?
That's
And
right.
they're the host. They're the host this year, so it's going to be fun. If either of you have anything you want to add before we move on, I don't know if I have a good job.
I will, Mike. I'll say that I've been in 4 or 5 of those things now, and they are just a blast. It is so much fun. And I really was disappointed that we couldn't do it last year for obvious reasons, but basically it's a scavenger hunt with your camera and an opportunity to hang out with a whole lot of photographers. There might be 10 or 12 clubs involved, a couple of 100 photographers running around the town, trying to shoot those 5 random things that pop up that morning. It is just, it's wonderful. So much fun. So I'd really encourage you to do it.
Hylos, did you want to add anything? I know you're heavily involved.
I think I think Rick said it very well. We have a lot of fun doing it. I've done 3 or 4 myself, and they are good times.
Yeah.
Like you said, you get to be with a whole lot of people that like to do the same things you do.
And, while it's fun to win prizes, and there are some, well, in the past, there were some cash prizes. I assume there will be again this year. But even if you don't win, it's a fun afternoon. It's a fun day. And, any day doing photography, I consider fun. So I hope we can get quite a few people who will join us this year. And so I'll really start pushing it after Labor Day and get some people signed up for that. All right, workshops. We don't have a September workshop scheduled right now. I think I saw Timmy online. So I don't know, Timmy, if you had some ideas or if you want to ask people.
Sure. Hey, can everybody hear me? Hopefully.
Yes.
So yeah, we were rocking and rolling starting in April at least, and then it's kind of come to a screeching halt here. But so far we've done some astrophotography. We did our big workshop, with Chris Greer. They did the on-site with the Gibsons with the portrait. We did the critique with Corey and Shannon, which was awesome. Ben did a wonderful job with the Instagram workshop just the other day. I had 3 pages of notes just on that one, and I'm supposed to be one of those people that knows technology. But anyway, so now I'm not sure where to go. So I'm thinking about a couple ideas that I had maybe. One, I thought maybe doing a hands-on workshop with real estate photography, but I need, if somebody's got some ideas on that, of somebody that is a real estate photographer that might be willing to lead that. I know a few realtors that I can contact and maybe, go along that route. We'd also love to do a waterfall workshop this fall, October, maybe something like that. But if anybody has any ideas or is willing to lead a workshop, we've kind of been doing it every other month where we'll do one, via Zoom, and then the next month try to do it hands-on. I've tried to kind of work it that way. That way we hit everybody. But I know Rona's gearing up and getting rearing its ugly head again. So I don't know about the in-person stuff, but I feel like as long as we're outside, at least we can definitely social distance and things like that. And that may be the tricky part about the real estate, is obviously we'd have to be inside of a house somewhere. But maybe if it's like an open house or something, then it's that no one lives there, let's just say that, then that makes that a little bit easier. But does anybody have any ideas or is possibly willing to lead one?
Or you can just contact Timmy offline or contact me and I'll get you in touch with Timmy. And just see if we can come up with something, even if we can't do anything in September, something in October. I know we'll have some kind of waterfall trips probably at the end of October or the beginning of November because of fall. So, if somebody is willing to teach, or even if we have a couple of people who just want to help the less experienced photographers like we usually do, that would work also. So we got time. So if you're interested, let us know. And if there's something that you would like to see, or something you'd like to learn, let Timmy or me know, and we'll see if we can get something set up that some of the other workshops started. So let's move on. I think that's all the business stuff I have. So we've got Mike Robertson here. He's a member of the club, friend of the club, and he teaches at UNG. And he's going to talk to us tonight about the basics of off-camera flash. And Mike, feel free to also talk about your classes, and if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself. And let me unshare my screen so you can share yours.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. There we go. You'd think after all these months I'd know how to share and unshare.
And let me get my screen here going. So first off, I want to thank you for inviting me. With all the photographers and all the talent that's at this particular club, I feel it an honor to be presenting here. So thank you so much. So a little bit about myself. I do teach at the University of North Georgia. I've been teaching there now for over 10 years. I see some of my students here tonight, so thanks for coming in and cheering me on. I started photography right out of high school. I was a wedding photographer. It was my very, very first job, and I've been doing wedding and portrait photography pretty much my whole life. So that's kind of my lane that I stick to. I'd really like looking at, the landscapes and different images that people post. And I always think I see this beautiful landscape and I think, well, wouldn't it be nice if you had a couple walking down over there or something like that? And that's the portrait photographer coming out of me. But we do have some good classes. I just ended up some classes at UNG this week, and I'm taking a little break. We've got about a month break. Coming into the fall, we'll have some new classes. Sorry for the noise. The new classes we have coming in, I think, start about mid-September, starting with some basic photography classes. Right now they are planning for all those to be in person. But as we all know, like was just said, Rona is kind of changing things a little bit as we go along here. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. So we'll go from there. But if anyone ever has any questions about the classes or wants to contact me about portrait photography or off-camera flash, which I'm going to go over here in a couple minutes, just please contact me. I will sit there and talk your ear off, I guarantee. So but thanks a lot for joining tonight, and let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me get my Zoom screen back. I hate the way it folds it up when I switch screens. Okay, so this is not going to be just about off-camera flash. I'm going to talk about flash in general. But then as we move into off-camera flash, why this looks so well and why I like it so much. I even tried something brand new. I just got myself a Hero 9, and so I did a video, a very short video, and I put it together. So we'll see how that goes. So it was kind of unique, but it's given me all types of ideas how I can start kind of doing some videos and stuff, not only for anybody that would like to look at them, but also for my students at UNG. Sometimes, especially again, with things going on with coronavirus and stuff like that, we are not able to get out and do some of the stuff that we want to outside or in person. So I may start just building a library of videos, and so that might make it easier sometimes. So off-camera flash and how to use flash better. So we start off here. Let's come on, work. So types of flash, we're going to go over those. Not a whole lot, just the ones that we will use typically. Flash settings, shooting with a hot shoe style flash, shooting off camera, which is the main thing that we're here to talk about, which is off camera flash. By the way, also, if anyone has any comments, like I said, there's a lot of talent here. If you have any comments or want to bring something up, don't hesitate to jump in. You know, I'm used to it, and it doesn't take much to derail my train anyhow. So, so yeah, don't hesitate. So pop-up flash, that's what almost all of us have with our cameras. Unless our camera is a more professional style camera, then we don't get that pop-up style flash. They're good for a few things. A lot of people actually don't use them for one thing that they are good at, and that is for fill flash during the day. So most people don't think about using flash during the day. We're thinking about just at night or indoors or things like that. And actually, especially if you have somebody with like a ball cap on and you're outside and you have a pop-up flash, you can pop that up and get underneath the brim and be able to get some light into the eyes and stuff like that. And it makes for a much, much better image. But the range is very limited. We only have 8 to 10 feet of really good range on a pop-up style flash. We get red eye. We're seeing a little bit of red eye in the image that I've got here. The image is very flat. We don't have any shadowing. You know, with portraits, I love having shadow and stuff like that. But another positive thing is TTL, through the lens, auto settings. So you can be shooting in total manual mode as far as your exposure goes on your camera, but still be shooting auto for your flash. And I would love to tell you that I'm out there all the time with my flash meter and I'm getting all these numbers and putting them in, and it's just not that way. Basically, I put my flash in TTL mode and I just go to town. I do make some adjustments that I'll show you here in a second, but for the most part, I'm letting my camera do a lot of the work. I'm working it as far as my exposure. I do shoot probably 95% of the time I'm on manual, but I do use the TTL quite a bit. Unless I'm in a very unique lighting situation, it's just not working, then I'll switch over to manual or something like that. But other than that, I love TTL. It's phenomenal. And with flashes today, the fact that you can get these off-camera flashes today that shoot TTL for most brands at a fraction of the cost that it used to. My first remote flashes that I got that were radio remotes, not using infrared, and I shoot Canon, 2 flashes and the transmitter, that was $1,200. Now these are just hot shoe style flashes, so it was a rather pricey investment, and but honestly I loved them, and they are still today. I still use them to this day. They're still great. But with some of the other brands that are coming out, let me flip over here, like the Godox brand. I don't know how many of you have experimented with some of the, excuse the term, but it's exactly what it is, China brand type products. They have really brought their game up in a lot of different ways, in lenses, in flashes, camera accessories, and things like that, where they're actually bringing out some pretty decent stuff. If you were doing this daily, like you're a wedding photographer, professional wedding photographer, and you shoot weddings all the time, yeah, I may not go that route then. But as a prosumer or someone who's doing this as a hobby, the Godox is going to do just fine. So what we can get from hot shoe style flashes, and a hot shoe style flash normally goes on top of our camera in that little area at the top. They call that a hot shoe because it's powered. And back in the old days, before they had all the neat features in the TTL, it had one little contact, and that contact basically said to the flash, fire. Well, nowadays, most cameras have like about 5 contacts, and that's the TTL. That's so that the flash and the camera can talk back and forth. You know, they're sitting there going, how you doing? How's your day? How many feet are you away from the person, and all this other stuff. And so it gets all that information, and they are very, very accurate nowadays. I can remember when I started shooting digital and I was shooting TTL flash, and it was absolutely awful. I was shooting with a Canon 10D, and I was shooting with, actually, it wasn't a TTL style flash. It was with a sensor style flash. And it was like, okay, this shot's good. This shot's dark. This shot's bright. This shot's good. This shot's bright. This shot's bright. You just never knew. It was a crapshoot on what you were going to get as far as images. But nowadays, it's really, really good. So these hot shoe style flashes can be used either on or off camera. They have more power. They're very versatile as far as, you know, the head can swivel around so you can bounce and all this other stuff. And again, they can be used as TTL through the lens, and they can use that auto setting. If you don't have one, and maybe you've been holding off because of price or whatever, I highly, highly recommend getting a hot shoe style flash. It will better your flash photography like overnight. Getting that in a small type of diffuser or something like that really makes just a huge difference. And hopefully after this presentation, we can get some input from people on other folks that use this type of technology and kind of let us know how they enjoy it or how they like it. So I was talking about the, on occasion, I will have to adjust it, but I don't, a lot of times, again, I don't go to manual. What I do is I use flash exposure compensation. So a lot of us are familiar, if we're shooting either an aperture priority or shutter priority, we can use exposure compensation, where we can brighten our image or darken our image through, like I said, exposure compensation. It looks very close to the diagram on the right. But we also have flash exposure compensation, and this is awesome. So instead of having to go to manual or something like that, what we can do is we can vary the power on our flash a little bit. And, you know, like I was shooting one day and the flash was just overpowering the shot. And the person was in darker attire, and I'm sure that's what was triggering it. Because remember, our sensors are stupid. They want everything to be 18% gray. So it was overpowering. So I dropped the power back by about 1.5 stops. Bang. I was right on point and was able to take my images. And again, I can move very quickly when I'm in TTL like this, and it just works really, really well. So now if you have your pop-up style flash or a hot shoe style flash that has TTL technology, both can use flash exposure compensation. So both of them can use this, whether it's a pop-up or hot shoe. Any questions about this? Anybody not use this or not familiar with it? And if I'm going too fast, Mike, please let me know. Tell me to slow down a little bit. So So here's a shot that was done with no flash. It was very dark. But at 0, it looked pretty good. But then we could do a stop, 2 stops up, 2 stops down, and you could see how it changed the image. Definitely the stop to 2 stops over, that's looking a little bit too bright. Actually, 1 stop down to me looks about the best. The even stop looks just a little bit too bright. So 1 stop down actually looks pretty good. So that's how changing it. Again, we're not changing anything about having to go to manual or anything like that as far as flash goes. Now, it's still, you can still be shooting manual exposure on your camera. And a lot of people get confused about this, but this is just, we're just talking about flash when we're talking about changing exposure and shooting in auto. So with an off cam or with a hot shoe style flash, one thing that we can do is bounce the light. So we can adjust that head and bounce it off the ceiling. This is one of the nice things about hot shoe style flashes, is the fact that we can put diffusers on them. We can bounce the lighting. We can do a lot of different things to keep us from having just that, you know, one little tiny angry light that's just putting out this little light right straight into someone's eyes and giving us all the problems. Now we can do some things again, like bounce it and to get better images. This is still on camera. Now we are seeing some issues here. It does light up the room better. We are getting some light on the head a little bit, though, too much, where it's bouncing off the ceiling, coming back down. That would probably cause an issue, especially if you have someone like me who is follically challenged. The light coming down from the ceiling would definitely cause a problem. So bouncing the light, and I can remember, and again, this is old school type stuff, that when my first Vivitar I had bounce on it, and I was doing wedding photography. That was like the bee's knees. I tell you, it was something shooting bounce flash back in those days. But nowadays, it's okay, but it still has a problem. It can actually add bags. If you have bags under your eyes or wrinkles and stuff, it enhances them because the light is going down and not in. So while the bounce is nice, it doesn't really fix the situation. Now the bounce with a diffuser, which is typically what I do at weddings, looks much better, because now we're not getting just light going up, we're getting a light that goes all the way around. That's using something similar to a Stoffen. Then one of the neat things, this is with the Stoffen. We can see now we've got very even lighting. It's lighting the entire area 360 degrees. We got good light into the eyes. We've got good light around the room. It is still on camera flash, so it is still very flat lighting. We're not getting any type of shadows or anything along those lines. The next thing is bouncing it off the wall. Now, this is something that, this is something that I heard about, and this is the term I heard, which was floofing. If anyone knows the correct term, let me know. But instead of shooting directly into the person, we're actually, we take the diffuser off, if we have one on it, and bounce it off of a wall. Now, what that does is it takes a small light source and makes it much larger. Well, to get soft lighting, the larger your light source is to your subject, the softer the lighting will be. So when it hits that wall, now you've got what used to be this large is now huge, bouncing off that wall. And it gives us this really soft, beautiful light source. This is from an on-camera flash. So it looks much better. This has almost no editing to it at all, because I wanted you to be able to see. You can see on image 1, we've got some shiny areas in the skin. And again, we don't have any shadows at all. And then the next shot, we've got actual little catch lights in the eyes. We've got some shadowing coming across the face. This really works out that it, bouncing it off the wall and getting this type of image. So, so if you're in a spot, you only have your on-camera flash and it's a hot shoe style flash, you can get some really, really nice images. Just get them near a wall or something, bounce it off that. And so here's kind of a diagram of what I was doing there, bouncing it off, and you get some really, really cool images. And then what we all really wanted to talk about, that's off-camera flash. And that's when I take a flash, take it off camera, put it on a light stand, and use, I normally use some type of diffuser. A shoot through umbrella is my normal setup, because the shoot through umbrella is small, it travels well, it's compact, and it works really well. So here's a shot, and these are all done at, most of these were done at UNG. This is right inside the classroom. And I tell you, this could easily have been done in a studio or something. It is a great looking shot. I did have another one where I used another light as a like a hair light or a rim light behind them. And that's what I normally have as a 2 light setup. And both of them are triggered off of the same transmitter. So it all works really, really well. It's compact, and basically the world is your studio. You can pretty much go anywhere and take images. So what do you need to do this? Well, you need a light stand, you need your flash. You can either use a trigger, which is what's underneath this flash. And what that does, it pretty much makes any flash remote. Or the best bet, and this is what I have, is I use the Godox Pro V1, and I use the X Pro transmitter. It's all wireless, it's all radio slaved, so it works really, really well. I can control 4 different channels, multiple flashes if I want. It's a great setup, and it's very, very reasonably priced compared to what flash used to be. So you just get, you also need this adapter down here, and they call this a cold shoe, but this adapter allows you to fit a hot shoe style flash to a light stand. Within the light stand, the adapter, and even adding the diffuser, you're probably less than $100 or about that. Now for your flash and transmitter, you're probably about, $300 to $350 max for like the Godox system. Excuse me. So this is a great way to get started. If you love portraiture and you're looking to do something to give your portraits that extra little step, that extra little jump, and you like also shooting outdoors, this is definitely the way to go. Here's just 2 types of diffusers. We've got a softbox style diffuser. Then we also have a bounce style umbrella. The shoot through umbrella looks exactly the same, except it's translucent and you can shoot through it. Again, that's my preference. The problem with an umbrella, it throws light everywhere. I do also use a softbox so I can have more directional lighting for my flash too. And so that helps a lot. And this industry is just growing. There's more and more stuff coming out for this all the time because people are really, really getting into this. I've been shooting off-camera flash for years, and I use just a basic setup. This is a classic umbrella setup where I've got my camera, I've got a single flash here, my shoot-through umbrella. I'm normally 45 degrees off the nose. I'm trying to get that little loop light going here. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying for loop lighting. And that's the setup. I will add a secondary flash sometimes, but not always. So this was a shoot. Try this again. This was a shoot that I did a couple Friday nights ago. Tanya's on here. Her and I kind of worked together on some stuff. She's awesome. But the first shot here, we didn't use flash, and I did this on purpose. I wanted you to see the difference. The second shot is where I'm using flash. Now, this is a backlit. I love getting that sun hitting the hair and stuff. This was bright sunshine out. But with that flash coming off, again, 45 degrees off the nose, you can see a little bit of loop lighting here. It just makes the image. It makes, it's totally different here. And it just really sets this image up to look a lot better. Now, what else I can always also do, here's a shot that I did of off-camera flash, where the first one, what I did was basically balance, center my needle, and took the image. Now, the problem was there was a beautiful sunset going on, and I was missing all that in the first shot. So the second shot, I actually underexposed it by a stop and a half or 2 stops, something like that, and took the shot. And again, I have not touched my flash at all. My flash just fills the light, and look at that image. And you can see the background now. And this is in the parking lot at UNG. It's with a fast lens, so everything's nice and soft in the background. But, this ended up being an awesome shot. And of course, I had an awesome model here. But being able to get that nice sunset and dropping the, underexposing it and the flash filling made all the difference in the world. So let me show you this little video. And don't laugh. It's like I said, it's my first shot at this. So, okay, hold on. Stop here a second. And let me move this over. Let me share my screen again with sound. Okay. And here we go.
Welcome to Off-Camera Flash. So this was our starting image. As you can see, the face is kind of dark. This is my normal setup where we have a single flash off camera. I'm using a remote transmitter to get this. First shot, I was not getting the loop lighting I was looking for. If you notice across the face, I was getting a little bit too much shadow. Moved it over a little bit more. Going to try this again, and hopefully we'll get the shot that we're looking for. I was shooting with an 85mm prime, and there was a second shot. Now you can see that the loop lighting looks much, much better. This was a fun shot. We're trying to get her sliding in. As you can see, we got a really neat image. Thanks a lot. We'll hopefully you enjoyed this.
So, like I said, that was a really neat session that we ended up having. But it really went over kind of, why our off-camera flash makes imaging look so well and makes such a difference. So that was it. Any questions anyone has for me? So everyone's ready for the test?
I've got one question.
Yes, sir.
Bouncing it off the wall. What happens if you got a funny color wall?
That does create an issue. Normally, if you've got a funny color wall, either one, you'll have to do some color fixing when you get into your post-processing. I love having like a light almond or just slightly off-color white wall. It just adds a little bit of warmth to the shot. But yes, that does cause a problem.
I have a question. Can
Yes,
you hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes.
Oh, you mentioned something about a loop light or something around the eye. What were you talking about?
Loop, actually it's shadow. It's called loop lighting, where the flash is up and 45 degrees off the nose. And what that does, it gives you a little bit of loop right here. And it's a style of shadows for portraiture. There's all types of different shadows that you can go for. There's Rembrandt, there's loop, there's, oh shoot, I can't think of any right now. But there are different ones that you can get. And this is very, very, very traditional portraiture when people are going for different types of shadow effects on the face, like loop lighting.
Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, mic isn't working. Shooting in a very large room like a church, where do you start on your settings? Flash very limited because of the 8 to 10 feet range. Are you talking about a pop-up style flash? I think that's what you're talking about. Okay, so what I do in a situation like that, and actually Gary Fong has this thing called a puffer that goes over pop-up style flashes, and it does help. It's not like a miracle product, but the Gary Fong puffer does help pop-up style flashing. And as far as settings, what I do is I will try to center my needle as much as I can. I'm shooting in manual, and then I see what my flash is going to do. Now, if I'm shooting in a situation where I'm having to, there's not enough light for me to be at my minimum settings, which is normally 800, 1/60th, 2.8. That's my minimum settings that I normally go with. Then I set my camera at that, and the flash is just going to have to do some extra work. Constant light versus flash. I like flash better. Number one, it is cheaper. But the other thing is constant lights don't have a lot of diffusers or things to soften them right now. I do think, and I've used them before, the fact that you can take and change the temperature of them. So if you're shooting sunset or something like that, you can warm them up a little bit instead of having to use a gel on your flash. It's really cool. But you have to put some money into them and to really be able to get the power needed for shooting in like the light that I was shooting in out in the sun. No problem. Anything else?
What about the placement of the second light? Because you're at 45 off the nose. Where's the second light going?
So depends on what I'm going for. If I'm going for more of a hair light, I might put it behind the person out of my camera shot on either side or the other. I like shooting what's called short lighting. Okay, short lighting is kind of what you're seeing right now, where this is the unlit side of my face. This is the lit side. Short lighting is hitting the unlit side of my face. And then what I would do is probably have a hair light coming in on this same on this side, and I would just put it behind the person, probably 6 or 8 feet, and have it coming in to give me a little bit of rim light. Keep going the wrong way. Keep going a little bit of rim light or something like that. If anybody, and I put this out to all my classmates, I'll put it, all my students, I'll put it to you. If you are really into portraiture and you'd like to know more about off-camera flash and stuff, do not hesitate to call me and we'll get something up. You have to provide the models, the only thing. And Lori she's another one of my kindred spirits with portraiture here. She'll definitely tell you, I've made this offer to her a dozen times. She's got her own corral of models and still won't take me up on it. So, but yeah, no, if you were interested and anybody wants to get a little hands-on with this, let me know. I'll be more than glad to work with you.
One day I will take you up on that offer.
I'm holding my breath, Lord. I'm holding my breath.
I want to take you up on that offer too, but scheduling sometimes doesn't work out.
I fully understand. I keep a busy schedule myself.
If you get the model ready and then you're not ready, or either I can't do it that day, so it gets a little hard for everybody's schedule.
I fully understand. Well, Mike, let me give it back to you. We're starting to run low on time here. Actually, no, it's only 8 o'clock. So actually I did really good. So, but any other questions, anything, anyone else has for me, you can either contact me. I'll put my email address in here. Feel free to contact me directly if you would like to have some hands-on with off-camera flash. And if the club would like to have something in person to go over this is something we can do outside. I'd be more than happy to do something if there's enough interest.
Timmy, are you listening? Timmy's in
Bet
charge of our
yeah, no, yeah, I heard that. I got you. Thank you, Mike. Yes, thank you.
I have
No
a feeling-
problem.
I have a feeling you're going to be hearing from Timmy.
Yes,
which is
yes.
good. I think a lot of people would be interested in that. I was excited when you agreed to talk to us tonight about this because that's something I've wanted to experiment with. I don't necessarily have the equipment, but eventually. And Mike, I also wanted to thank you because I know that you send a lot of your students to our page and tell them to join the group, and a lot of them are here. And I can always tell when you've been giving out the information because we'll get 20 or 30 new members in 1 week as opposed to the normal 5
Well,
or 10. So.
This is what I tell my students, and any of them will vouch for this. In my mind, joining a club like this is just so it will help you so much in learning photography, because I tell you one thing photographers don't have a problem with, and that's talking. Okay, we will talk your ear off and tell you all we know, and just being around all these the type of people that's in this group. I tell the joke that the first time I went to the club meeting and saw the images, I was ready to sell my gear. It's just the people are just so phenomenal, and to have all that knowledge around you and the stuff that you can draw from, every student should take, if they're in especially right now that everything is Zoom, or most of it is, this is a great setup. So glad to send them your way.
I appreciate it. Tell them to make sure they answer the questions. Not everybody
I
answers.
can't help you with that. I can't even get them to do that on my own page, let alone yours.
Yeah, but along with what you were saying, when I joined the club 8 years ago, it was for the same reasons, for learning and to be around like-minded people. And I've obviously learned a lot. I never expected that I would be the club president 8 years later, but and we always promote the educational part of this. The professional photographers, the people with a lot of experience, they don't look down on the new photographers. At every shoot we do, every field trip, the ones who are more experienced are always happy to help the less experienced. Those who went on the 2 Milky Way shoots that we did earlier this month and last month saw that. And just never be afraid to ask questions. And even on the club pages on Facebook, if you have a question about something, don't be afraid to ask. There are no dumb questions, and somebody is going to know the answer. And then if you want further instruction, you can always take it offline. But you probably have a question that somebody else also has, but that other person is afraid to ask it. So don't be afraid.
Well, speaking of that last shoot, I was hoping to go to that because I've been trying to get a good Milky Way shot for ages. And I was joking with the class the other night, I'm just going to go to the convenience store, get a Milky Way and take a picture of it. I'm tired of waiting to get a good shot. But Helen Holloway went, and she could not speak high enough of the help that she got, since that was her first outing of shooting night sky and stuff. And she was just she just gave you all so much praise, and which didn't surprise me. It's a great group and there's a lot of help. So, but
she got some good shots too.
Yes, she did. She ended up with some good, like I said, better than the Milky Way shots that I've got. So there you go.
Yeah, but yours tastes better. Let's see. I'm just looking at some of the chat stuff. All right. Well, we will go. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. And we probably will take you up on the offer for a workshop. We'll go ahead and start on the challenge. Let me share my screen again. There we go. So you can see all the themes we've had this year so far. Our theme this month is the sound of music. A couple of rules. One image per person. The image must be less than 2 years old. For the monthly theme, we don't do composites or single image files. You need to be a paid member to submit a photo. You must be in attendance of the meeting online, or if we ever get to go back in person. But we do let you miss one meeting per year. You can still submit images if we know life happens and you can't always make it. And something we started new this year, the photographer of the year is going to win $100. They also will get a free membership next year. The voting, there's been a couple of questions on how we do the voting the last few times. Although we do award points for the top 5 each month, you're to vote for, or you can vote for up to 3 images, first, second, and third. You're obviously not going to vote for the same photo multiple times, but you're going to email your votes to vote at ngaphoto.club, not com, but .club. Lisa's back this month, so I don't have to count them this month. So go to vote at ngaphoto.club and just do first number 5, second number 2, or however you want to do it, but only vote for 3 images. And one thing you want to consider when you're doing your voting is whether or not the image fits the theme. And again, photography is very subjective. So what one person thinks might fit the theme, somebody else might not. But just go by your opinion. And again, we award points. 5 points for first place, 4 points for second place, and so on. And at the end of the year, we'll add up those points, and that will be our photographer of the year. So we'll go ahead and get started. We only had 6 images this month, so this actually, we'll get through it pretty fast. And I'll show the images a couple of times. So this is number 1. Number 2. Three. 4. 5. And 6. And I will go backwards with 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. And I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let me know if anybody needs to see them again. But you'll send your votes again to vote at ngaphoto.club, not .com, but photo.club. It's just 8 o'clock now, so we'll say till about 8:15 to get your votes in. And then Lisa will go ahead and tabulate the results, and we'll either get them posted tonight or tomorrow. Our next meeting is going to be on Friday, September 17th at 7 p.m. As of right now, it'll be a Zoom meeting. We don't know who's going to be presenting or what the topic is going to be yet, but Michelle is working on that. And by the way, I don't think we ever mentioned it at the meetings, but Michelle Grabowski is the one in charge of getting our speakers, and I think she's done a phenomenal job this year, getting a great range of speakers, and so definitely appreciate everything she's done for us. And we've got some for October, November, some good speakers coming up then. So looking forward to see what we end up with in September. And our challenge theme for September is going to be silhouette. And that's it. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I want to thank Mike for a great presentation and, you know, jumping the gun, but I'm already looking forward to the upcoming workshop whenever we have that. And we'll see everybody next month. And get your votes in. You have
Mike.
15 minutes. Yes,
Thanks,
somebody's
y'all.
thanking you, Mike.
Thanks,
Yeah, I
Mike.
appreciate all the
Too
good
many
words.
mics on tonight. I think we have 4 or 5 of us.
And again, if anyone wants some help, just contact me. I'd be more than glad to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you later. Hey, Mike, I'm getting hungry, man.
I already ate, Barry.
You're the wrong one. Robin.
See you later.
Okay.